Right. So maybe the latency is better now. Not really, okay. Still like 15 seconds at least. But we'll manage. Music, and then I can start. Not really sure what I want. I might just go for like ambient. Yeah, that's nice. So this was not yesterday, this was the one from the day before yesterday. Yesterday I created just a really quick one, like where is it? A little ship. And I think I'll keep creating or stay with like my cloud vessels for today, but I want to go back to do something with a bit more story in there, maybe. And I need my color palette. Why is that over there? So I have a bit of a plan. I made some notes before the stream. Not a lot, but there is at least an idea. Like on the way back home I saw some interesting shapes and things on a train. So I'm trying to think about all that. Repositioning the cam a little bit. And yeah, I'm just afraid that it will be a bit flat what I currently have in mind, but I want to try it anyway. And the plan would be to, well, as always, get it done first, criticize afterwards. So what I want to do is I want to check out a bit of cloud vessel yard, I suppose. This would be a very two-dimensional approach. I'm not sure if I like that. But maybe we don't need that much. Maybe like this one shape is enough. Because something that I have in mind right now is these two characters sort of walking along. And then we have like the ship being built here. Maybe we're a bit closer. Now I can consider adding a bit more perspective. because I want perspective. Perspective would be a bit more interesting and challenging. I mean, this would be challenging enough probably, but yeah, I want to get that practice in. So interesting, or like the idea here is that there's a lot of overlap. It's like one ship after the other. What's tricky is to find a way to show that they are sort of floating. I'm not sure if I can manage that. Maybe I can do that with this one actually. If I put one here, we can leave space beneath it. And then I sorta get that. But it is a bit similar to our second painting, I suppose. Like this was the arrival, and now we are back at another harbor scene, sorta. But it's slightly different, so maybe it's okay. So this would be my first draft idea. I have only spent 5 minutes, so maybe I take a moment and explore the side view, because this could also be interesting. I'm just trying to consider how many ships I could fit into that frame. And what would be the most interesting or engaging thing to show. Because what could be cool, or what I sort of have in mind, are these scaffoldings. So maybe like this. And then we have like people working on them. Now we have our characters walking along here. It will be quite tricky as well, because I want them to act a little bit. So, but I don't want to get into that right now. Maybe split up the scaffolding. Like there would be a ladder here, a ladder there. I was just thinking, like my initial instinct was to create one ladder. But it's not very safe, is it? Kinda interesting when you try to design a piece like this. You would just have to apply so much logic, or can apply so much logic to like every little detail. Like if I had more understanding of the ships that I was drawing, I could maybe be more like, you know, what do all the shapes mean? Why would they be there? Right now I feel like I only have the very basic elements down. But in the back I'm trying to get more ship research done to maybe take stuff that I can apply to the cloud vessels. Because I kind of like that. About technology and about this IP technically, that I can throw in like tech reference and Yeah, I don't try to be that. I'm working way too small already. I just want to see. Maybe there's a ship in the back, and then there's a ship behind that ship. And this one might be obviously being worked on, so there's like a reveal patch. That could be cool to like open them up a bit. But yeah, this way there would be some perspective at least going on, which would be the goal. Because I don't want it to feel too flat. Like one complaint I have with with this one is just, yeah, the scale didn't quite work, or like the perspective didn't quite work. I think I already got a little bit better at that. Okay, I'm starting to work on details. I shouldn't do that. I should just move along. Spend another 5 minutes on this. Would be also interesting to consider where this is going. Like, since there seems to be some way to get to the back there. There should probably be a bit of a path here. And it's probably more like this. And those ships just keep rowing up. We have this line maybe. Ooh, that's a maybe that works, like with a really vanishing point sort of there. It's not exact, but it's getting close, and this can help me to consider where these lines would be going. And what we would be doing over here. Like maybe this is more on land, and this we then realize is maybe water or air, depending where we put this exactly. Right. So yeah, extending this line. There's a bit of a perspective bend going on here, but I don't mind it. And then the question would be, do we have these pillars? We would probably have, for each, we get like another pier or like bridge, walkway. I could see that. this might work. The question would really be what's more interesting. Also, where exactly would I position everything? It's like if I want these characters to be more the focal point, I would have to move closer. Moving them like this doesn't really work. Or does it? Well, it certainly puts more emphasis on them. Decreases the amount of ships we have to paint a little bit. We can maybe emphasize more how this works. Can show more of our focal ship. I would probably move the hull damage to this one. And have this one, I don't know, just not as open. Like this might be the better perspective approach. Give me so, or composition approach. Because this way, like, okay, the focus is on these characters. And I believe I want that. Now I could make them smaller. And that way I can show more of the ships. Ooh, maybe that's cool. That way I can show a lot of the ship. And one thing I considered I also want to show are like these cranes. I just like the imagery of cranes. Sort of like this. Maybe these are too symmetrical actually. These are a bit too symmetrical. But yeah, we could, and then we could add one in front. And I would probably add a bit of a platform for it. I'm planning details right now, so I'm guessing I will go with this one instead of this one. Give myself just a moment longer to maybe explore this one. There are no notifications on YouTube desktop. That's sad. But yeah, I know, I actually notice YouTube's kinda trashy about notifying people. So many reasons not to go for YouTube, huh? Do I wanna do this though? I need external opinion. Should I go for this one or this one? I lied. I'm sorry. I think I'll go for this one. But the VOD library. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think I will stay with YouTube, even though it has some annoying quirks. I will try to. Well, I can't really find workarounds for some of them, right? But I'll look into stuff. Explain a bit about each pick. Scroll back now. Actually, you can do that on YouTube, right? That's also cool. You can like go back and listen to the stuff I rambled, but maybe don't do that, because then you have to listen to me at double speed or something to catch back up. Essentially there isn't much to talk about. I was just exploring like different perspectives for the same piece. I kind of want to visit this shipyard, and I want to have like my two characters be a bit of the focal point still. And I thought this perspective is fun because I can show like these rows of ships. The other one just has like a bit more perspective. Like with this one, I was just afraid that it would be too flat, but I sort of solved that. I think I solved that. And this one just feels smaller. Like I could of course change it and you like the rows. Yeah, cause this one is also interesting, but I feel like this one is stronger in terms of conveying scale. Like even if I rescaled this one, it's just we are too close and too much like in the scene. So I'll probably just stick with this one. Now, like to vary my colors also a little bit with this one maybe. Because my scenes so far, I mean, this one obviously was a quite stark departure from what I was doing, but most of them right now have this like beige, warm tone. I mean, here there's the blue-gray already in there. But yeah, pretty much all of them very beige and blue. So I guess I'm not departing. I just noticed like there's already a lot of blue, but maybe there will be more blue today. The problem is I'm not painting forests, right? If I was painting more forests, then yeah, I wouldn't complain right now. I'm not complaining, it's just get painting. Less talking. I'm just confusing myself right now. Oh, actually, because I shifted the scene, I can think about which of the ships I will destroy. Doesn't really matter, they are all over there. Should I? One more thing to try. I'm just doing all the perspective or all the composition adjustments today. So no force for you. What does this do? No, we're too close. This is nice. Well, you want to practice architecture, so no normal forest for you. I mean, technically I'm not even practicing architecture, right? Like I'm practicing I'm practicing perspective and trying to throw in shapes that look city-esque. There isn't really any architecture going on here, right? These buildings are all very rudimental, if you can call them that. But I will get to that as well. I will try to vary my painting of buildings. I actually have kind of a fun idea. Like I'm thinking to visit the lake where I'm lifeguarding a bit more maybe, and I'll just grab like a SUP, so like a stand-up paddleboard. I'll just go around the lake and maybe draw a few of the buildings from like from on the lake. Why exactly that? Well, simply because I was like, we were driving around with the boat, and I just think there are a lot of very pretty buildings around that lake. Don't drop into the water though. Dude, I learned stand-up paddle stuff on a surfboard, which is like stupid because a surfboard is, or like a wind surfboard, right? A wind surfboard is like they have a good comparison. Not really, but I can actually just paint it like, you know, this is a wind surfboard, and this is sort of a stand-up paddleboard. Like not exactly, but they are so stable. you can jump around on them like it's nothing. But yeah, part of the challenge, of course, don't fall into the water. But you know, if I do, I'll lose the paintings maybe. But it's not about the paintings, it's more about trying to look at these buildings for a while and understand their shape and take that with me. Cause it's still like, yeah, painting buildings from memory. I don't have that good of a visual library. I'm guessing a lot of the time. Take photos just in case. No, then I have to take like my cell phone with me or something. I mean, I could put it in a plastic bag, but what's the point? What's the point? So I think I'm starting to work on details way too soon, so let me pull out of this weird shape for a bit. Work on like the broader elements. And with like the circles, I'm always thinking I should try to like really draw the circles and not do what I just did with like just make the circle brush larger and then block out the center. But I mean, part of this is also about efficiency, so to find a balance. Actually, I haven't said where the light would be coming from. I think it could be cool if it's more frontal and then cast like a bit of a shadow onto the scene. kinda like that. The other idea, of course, but putting all of this in shadow would be meh. Wouldn't be that good. So yeah, let's get some broad shapes down. Some broad shapes. These would be the shadow shapes that we get between these boats then. Or ships. Or vessels. I am thinking what would be like in the back here, because there isn't really, there's just a yard, so there might be a few ships hanging in the air, just hanging out. Could be cool to sort of imply like I'm getting rid of this crane. In general, I always try to explore way too much stuff with the sketch, and then I just want to get rid of it. I might do something like this. And I also thought about breaking this up just a little bit, so I can maybe maybe imply that there is a bit of a break right now. Like not every ship is, or not every slot is taken. No exploration is cool. Yeah, I mean, but I want to be more, I want to be more painterly, right? That's the goal I'm pursuing. And so, of course, I mean, I'm still exploring this painting right now. I don't even know how I want to deal with this ship in front, really. But I already have all these lines in here. What I will actually do is, because probably I will try to keep them, so I might as well just give them the correct color and move on, sort of. Maybe merge them with whatever is below. And then I'll get, no, I shouldn't merge. I will just get mad at myself for for like messing up the lines again or something. Okay, so we have this ship coming in the back, switching over to a bit more of a more precise brush now, because like the circle brush is cool, but it's very quick and messy. So maybe I might need just a little longer just to get down the shapes in front here. I'm wondering what I will do with this. I don't know if I want to do this, because then I'm moving back to the very right, I guess that's just my color scheme. That's just my color scheme, like blue and beige, like orange. But making it just gray feels kind of boring as well. Might work. Can't say I'm super happy about it, but I'm not sure what other color would work here. Like greens and stuff, probably. No, this isn't. isn't the green location. This could work. This feels very I forgot the guy's name. There is an artist who has like a color palette that feels similar. No. No. Definitely no. I mean, this is a harmonic color palette. I know that. I'm just trying to fight it. I have to move into a forest if I want to get a different palette, or maybe a park or something. I could do a park. Maybe next time. Next time I want a simple composition or a more simple painting, I will do a park. How about that? Yeah, other than that, I will just throw down a few more shapes now. You just want to slowly transition into a forest. Look, I want to paint many things. I won't just start painting just forests. I'm just saying drawing trees. Also we had a park already. Yeah, you know, we had like one thing with like a park. But come on, that was like one tree there and one in the back maybe. It's not a proper park. But maybe that's what parks look like in Sangrara, because it's all industrialized and they don't have plants. Very sad. I don't know. I don't try to be that constrained. So one more thing that I will probably add in the back are like clouds. Super comic-y cloud right there. Maybe that works. You can flow like nicely and all. Yeah, maybe. Not sure if they draw a bit too much attention. Maybe if I do a bit of a square brush, using different brushes. Ooh. That's like one thing I'm currently limiting because it messes up my thinking process if I also have to consider like which brush do I need here. So I'll try to usually push back on different brushes. Round brushes are all I need. But I can't deny that like different brushes make for a really cool look. And I'll have to expand my knowledge on using that as well, so why not use it here, you know? gives the whole thing a bit more of an expressive vibe. Keep it with the blue. Now you people get to a separate layer and don't annoy me for a bit. Probably just paint over the sketch now as much as I can. And I'll try to move at a good pace here, so that yeah, I don't want to slow down that much. I want to speed up right now. That's actually one of the another very tricky thing, to really find a good pacing with the drawings or paintings. Because I feel like you're really good with your pacing. You also get so much quicker. Not like because you can paint so fast, but because you are just good at understanding when you need to speed up or slow down. And like you use your brain more efficiently. I feel like, because right now I don't know, I'm doing all these small shapes. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'm actually wasting thinking energy right now for stuff that doesn't really matter. I'll just try around. Pacing, I don't know if pacing is easily learned. Just comes with practice. But just a rough idea. I just noticed one problem with this whole thing. Because I added the perspective, I also have to add the perspective to the scaffolding now. So the sketch doesn't work that well anyway. Practice makes pacing. That is certainly a phrase. I will applaud your effort. Yeah, just get rid of it at this point, I think. Question of the day: why is the letter separated like this and not like just one continuous letter? I'll give you some time. I'll give you some time. And in the meantime, I'll try to figure out where exactly and how I want to position this. This letter goes up. Like maybe this would be more gray as well. Still no answer on the letter question. It's tricky. Oh, yeah, that's a very nice view of the whole painting. Wasting so much time at the scaffolding. And I don't get the colors right. Maybe more like this, yeah. Maybe I should just do the errors in the painting. You ignored my question. I will not answer your question until you tell me why the letters are separated. In the meantime, the characters are Kikira and someone else. Probably. At least that was the plan. That was the plan. So don't fall more easily. Yes. That is true. Relatively simple, right? If you just make like one long continuous ladder, the moment you stumble, you're kinda in for a long fall. I have to paint so much ship here. Don't know if I like this. Painting the scaffolding is also quite tricky. Oh well. Like I'm struggling to really find where to start right now. I think I can add a bit of a light shape. I kinda want to add an interesting light shape. I don't know. Maybe there's like another ship that we don't see that is blocking out parts of the light, and so that's why we get this more perspective, or not perspective, but more blown out light. Would also probably be warmer, since I would want this to be sunlight. Oh, we can just continue that. Maybe. Ooh. Okay, so let's add Yeah, maybe more like so. I am just trying to add more interesting shapes in here, when I should probably spend more time designing. But I just feel like adding more shapes is more fun right now. So I'm sort of working in the silhouette of like a ship that is standing outside of the frame. Changing the hue instead of darkness, such a game changer. Yeah. So just feels more organic, I think. More interesting results usually. I saw this really nice painting, don't know by who, like it was posted by some art school page. There was just this big machine. Wasn't super like complicated or complex or whatever, but it had really nice shape design. Like I looked at that for quite some time and was like, damn, that has some like solid, really solid design. Maybe I can get to that level. More practice. With a bit more practice. No, that's overkill. But like this might be interesting. So we essentially just painted like a whole painting onto the side of the ship. But like that's kind of like, okay, now I sort of get that there is even more going on outside of what we can see. And I think that already makes the whole scene kind of cool. Let's look for more shapes so I can procrastinate. Don't have to paint the details of the ship. Yeah, you know, it's funny you say yeah, and I know it's the yeah for like the whole it's cooler to like that the scene is expanded, but I'm just taking the yeah as yeah, let's procrastinate more. Because I only hear what I want to hear. You dilate time to twist my words. What am I, some JoJo villain? Probably. Probably I am. Yeah, I really don't like the scaffolding. It feels too flat. Okay, maybe it will improve over time. I think the trouble I'm having is that this whole section in front here is very disconnected from everything else. I mean, it's just floating there, right? So the moment I connect it, it might get better. Not super sure about it though. Because now we're just messing up like where exactly everything is in this arrangement. Like, wouldn't how would it be fixed to the ground and all that sort of stuff? It is a bit tricky, but we'll figure it out, I'm sure. Oh, one thing that I can use the sketch for actually is to say, look, there is some shadow being thrown against the hull of the ship. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Nice. So this is just an exercise in adding shapes and like trying to remember shapes from tech that I've seen and like mesh it all together into one strange thing. But I'm not sure if I want to go there just yet. I think I still have some other stuff that needs attending first. Where's my sketch? I need to find the sketch layer. Oh, this is the sketch. Interesting. Then let's mark that. So then I will do some more hue shifting to try and make more interesting things happen here. Yeah, I might also just add rust to this ship. I was just thinking, maybe not that much, but just these patches. Oh, flag, or maybe it's not rust, maybe it's just broken off or peeled off paint. That could be cool. Like, I'm just thinking about details that I can throw on here. that wouldn't look too out of place. Make a hard car. Why? Where? What? Very specific all of a sudden. Right, so this is all on the same layer. Let's get rid of more of the sketch. Looks like diamond suit. The gambler ship, I see. Maybe. I'm not sure. I kind of want to throw in more shape into my shapes. Build out the form of this thing. And like one thing I need to figure out is where are the windows? Because there's always windows. Super good. I mean, I already tried to place them before, but I didn't like them all that much. Now that I have more stuff in my painting, maybe now it's a little better. And so I can define the front of the ship. I can give it a bit more dimensionality by adding these shapes, like darkness. And we want to adhere to the perspective. So let's throw in these elements. Kinda like the triangles that occurred over here, so I will just throw them in here and there. And then I'll jump back to the windows. Consider what they look like currently. So with this, I kind of think it would be cool to show the shift between the shadow and the light. And like this would be in full light. What a struggle, man. This would be a bit more in the dark. And then we'll use some liquify to maybe get that into a better spot. There's still a lot of sketch going on here, so let's get rid of that for the moment. And now we're on our own with designing this, so to speak. No more sketch to guide us. So this is sort of the top section of the whole thing. Oh, no, that's the wrong layer. I want to show the shadow that is just going through the whole thing. And then there's probably more, or there are probably more elements up here. Might be though that we just don't see a whole lot of the detail up here, just because it's so overexposed. Yeah, that could be it. Gotta sleep now. Do that. Nighty night. I mean, you can check out the VOD, right? That's the cool thing. Till tomorrow. See ya. The one good thing. Yeah, indeed. So I just wanna go in here and paint these details. I will really take my time with this first chip, because it's the focal point. So it needs to carry the scene. Like whatever I do with this sort of sets how the rest of the painting will read. So I try to get it as good as I can. So I try to add like a lot of small shapes, little details. Trying to think what might work. And add like 3-dimensionality to all of it as much as I can. Come on. My draftsmanship really isn't up there. It's all sort of messy. But I gotta manage with what I can do. And slowly improve on it, maybe. I don't like this shape though. Just not that interesting. Yeah, I might go for more something like this. And now like this. And I can add shapes into that. And I mean, again, I'm not super clean with my lines and shapes. So I kind of try to embrace that a little bit. And accept that shapes will look off or not as good as they could. But if I work against that the entire time, I will just lose too much time. So now this part, on the other hand, is more about finding like the general shape in here, coming up with what it might look like. And I think I wanna add like more small design. Which could read as like strange tag that we don't quite understand. I just try to layer details upon details, circles, lines, squares. Sort of overload this in a way where it all becomes one continuous thing. And you just look at it and you realize, oh, this looks sort of tech-esque. And you can sort of just relax and be like, okay, so this is like tech. You're telling me through your visuals, you're telling me this is some tech thing, and I don't have to really think more about it, because it's probably too complicated to understand for me anyway. Like, not even the shapes are clear enough to fully convey it, so how would I, as the viewer, how would I be able to look at that and make sense of it, sort of? Yeah, try to get these tubes in there maybe. I think the layer on top of that I want to keep a bit more consistent with like these just circles for now. Like there might be sometimes larger, a few smaller ones. Just like that, yep. And then now and then I will break those up with a square or a line. But this way, because the shapes beneath it are more square and the top layer are these circles, I generate more contrast, which makes the layers more different and easily identifiable. And again, the goal here, create visual noise that just reads as interesting. So I can add a few smaller shapes. Just these lines here and there. And then I can go break up the main shape a little bit. And suddenly this looks a lot more like some tech, yeah, like some complex tech element. Now I have to pick my areas, because if I do that to every area in this painting, of course it will just clutter. But I know that this is very close to the focal point, that my focal point will be these characters. Not in the way that they will necessarily be the most detailed. I actually think I want to keep them as simple as sort of possible while still reading well. But like this is where I want the interest of the painting to be. So I need to make it interesting to look at, not necessarily right or super logical or something, but interesting. As in your eye wants to go there anyway, because it thinks that all the cool stuff is over there. I will just repeat this shape, and I'll try to vary like the way I move my hand and the way I produce these paint strokes, just to practice. Here too we can try to add a few like different shapes, maybe more circles, but I keep it more organized than in the middle. This one I messed up. It's too large, and that's why the other ones are too small. And like this one as well. But it's okay, that's just the speed at what I'm going. Okay. Now I'll try to add even more. Again, I will really, this is like the interesting element of the painting. I have decided. If everything else fails, you can look at this and be like, this is kind of cool. Don't know what it does, but it has like a lot of things. Now, what is important about it? Something like the only thing I understand about it from like my lore document is that this is like an engine that can sort of turn and adjust where it's directing its propulsion. And so to do that, it would have these two, or this ring that can sort of move. I'm trying to add that maybe. Eventually I'll manage to paint. I'll paint a circle, right? Has to happen at one day. I don't know. I was just like draftsmanship and stuff in general was something I was already always very lacking. I just don't put in the hours really. And like I learned to paint messy way too much. I don't know which artist that was, but I like listened to a podcast, I think, and they were talking about how he was he had like a phase where he was just painting these, I think it was like pulp fantasy paintings, and he was like, well, he was just painting them and very sorry, just got interrupted by a weird ad block message. No, but he was like, oh, I painted like this pulp stuff and I wasn't really feeling it, but I thought, well, that's just for now, like just to pay the bills and blah blah blah. But eventually that was like the only thing he drew, so I was like, oh, actually getting harder to like draw other stuff, like draw in other styles, because he was getting so used to whatever that was. And so I feel sort of similar about like being sort of stuck to what I did and do. And I try to move out of that by doing this, by challenging myself more again and finding like subjects that I'm not used to maybe. But yeah, I feel like draftsmanship, man, that's just like you can learn that through drawing a lot, but the main thing I think is discipline and going more through drills. Like if I would be very serious about improving my draftsmanship at a like good pace, I would probably just like stand up every day and first thing in the morning do like 15 minutes of just Peter Hahn drawing exercises or something, like just lines and circles, and do them very slow and fast, like vary the speed, look at the result. Because just drawing, there's so much more going on than just your draftsmanship. Like draftsmanship really is the least, the thing I'm thinking least about here. This is really more about where do I place stuff, how do I make this read in a certain way. I don't really have time to also think about like how do I draw this exactly. But it's also why then the mistakes slow me down. Because I look at it and I go, no, this isn't how it's supposed to look. And then I have to repaint it. Alright, I think this looks decent enough. Maybe add like a bit of a gear shape here. I did like so many gears for my portfolio, like they were all, and I still can't draw that shape properly. So that's how I know just drawing something a lot doesn't mean learning to draw it well. Cause like my whole like essentially the design for my portfolio, the decorative design, are these gears that are sort of being formed from some strange ooze, because that's my my design, right? Or my, not even sure if it's like I guess my brand design. Primordial. And actually this is going a bit too crazy. I think I'll just draw like these interlocking mechanisms. Yeah, that looks a bit better. That's like more manageable right now. And now I can maybe imply some of this. But yeah, I did just like, I don't know, huge pages just filled with these gear shapes. But kinda weaponized my messiness there, right? Because again, they weren't solid gears, they were formed from this liquidy liquid. Which meant it was okay if they looked a little odd and off. Kinda made the design look more interesting and appealing. So I guess that's sort of playing to your strengths and weaknesses. But I would definitely prefer if I was better at the draftsman side. Oh yeah, that's like one by one thing after the other, I suppose. Right now I'm more focusing on getting interesting scenes going. Craftsmanship. I mean, usually you would do it the other way around, right? You would learn to develop good draftsmanship and then tackle whatever I'm tackling here. But I have painted for way too long to have the patience. Also, like, my biggest weakness I'm working against this patience thing. I just rush everything a little bit. Nice. So we are getting somewhere. Not sure if it's where I need to go or want to go, but yeah, look at that. Get like shapes and everything. Oh. Actually adjusted the cam a little bit. I think the angle was weird. Didn't really look at it the entire time. So now I'm just working outwards from what I have. And I'll try to naturally flow into the surrounding detail. Yeah, these ones can... I think I like the larger shape design more. I can maybe add these circular elements. Again, building this up, a lot of it is more just finding shapes that contrast interestingly against each other. To carry the messiness. Whoop. And look at... So I might not do every single one here. Just for the sake of keeping stuff more separate. Okay, nice. That's kind of funny. Like, there's just no detail anywhere. I mean, back here there's some, but no detail anywhere. And then there's this. Just this. Okay, we have certainly worked at this area enough. We should move on and try to figure out the rest of the ship. I don't like these lines they make it look very flat. So one thing that I am considering, that there is probably an exhaust up here. So I'm working that in. Now around these there would be bolts. Yeah, this will be a bit of a nightmare now, because I have added so much detail to this one area that everything has to slightly match that. Not like fully, because the rest isn't necessarily the focal point. But I have to consider what it looks like. Oh. Well, move this around. And move this around. I'll just try to add details here that maybe don't take as long. But yeah, this is essentially just that detail hunting. Trying to find ways to add it. And we can add more nuts and bolts maybe to the surface here. Sell that idea. Nice. Get this like so. My commentary is just going down the drain again. We have reached the focus point. But it's just repeating what I just did, trying to find shapes that might contrast nice. And here I also will like include maybe cables and stuff. So I have these shapes interrupting each other. And we'll just build up this three-dimensionality of detail. I sort of like that. I have to actually be careful. I just build like shapes in front first. Usually I wanna start in the back. Jesus. Thank you, Windows Defender, for telling me that there are in fact no threats. No threats on this computer. Except, of course, for the Windows Defender, which is just jump scaring the living hell out of me. I think one thing that is very good about the circle shape, the circle brush, because it is so messy, it is not as easy to get lost in detail, because it sort of has like this built-in diffusion and messiness. Okay. So we have our scaffolding. I think I'll add a bit more. Add just a little bit more. And we'll try to keep the values here very separate. So I'm working with different colors and different saturations, ideally, to really drive home the point that I have like these different elements. Now I can finish the ladder. Add more detail to the scaffolding as a whole. Nice. Positivity and all that, that's why I'm saying nice. Internally, I am dreading my time slipping away. Me wasting time on little details. I don't know, it's the details that are fun. Like, I enjoy throwing colors onto these elements. Oh. So now I'm just going in here and I try to be more bold with the rust that is going on. I really tear out like chunks. Chunks of this chip. Because if it's only these little shapes, I feel like no one will really notice that, or it will look a bit weird. But the moment I start to introduce big or bigger shapes, I'll sell you more on the vision. And then I can say, well, look, I have like small areas where only small chunks are missing, areas where larger chunks are missing, and I want there to be a bit of a progression to it, or like in this shape, for example, there are these small patches where we still have some of the paint that are going inwards, so we get this layering. Okay, this is sort of nice. Okay. Yeah, I'm adding these outlines just because, again, I want to create three-dimensionality. And like you can, even in reality, when you look at paint, peeling off of structures, you can see a three-dimensionality. Maybe not as extreme as I'm doing here, I'm pushing it, but it's very intentional to more closely sell the idea that we're looking at like multiple layers. Keep all of these angular. Maybe I throw in like a circle here and there. But overall, I just think that square shapes look more natural and better. Mm-hmm. 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 Moving around the camera too much is really annoying for the stream, I believe. I have to stop that. Yeah, I'm just trying to add in more shadow, more contrast, sorta. And maybe add more shapes, more shapes. So I'm trying to get the perspective right, at least a little bit. Sort of like that. Sort of like that. Can pretty much go in here and delete more of the sketch, because it's not really necessary. We'll add a bit more shadow to the front section, and that's why we'll also cut in a bit, and we want some of that reflection now to sell the idea that, yeah, this is actually metal, right? Yeah, it's just adding maybe scratches and other discolorings to sell the idea of the dimensionality of this thing. There might also be lines that are going just like sort of pipes. I could imagine some pipes going along the outside, because I want to add a bit of a secondary color to it. We have, of course, the light, but I'm thinking maybe what would sell these windows more would be there was a bit of a color, if they had a bit of color. I'm trying that. And I'm trying to stay more on the side of shapes, less on the side of lines. And I'll delete what I had before or paint over it. I don't mind that. The goal is to really build up these shapes. Because I think this works a bit better. Like before it felt very grayscale-y. Now there is a bit more going on. We can probably also add a few colored elements here. I'm just trying to imagine how this would look. Like I should have nailed the silhouette more. I think I moved too fast. I moved a bit too fast with this one. It's okay, I will just have to be a bit more creative now. No, this is maybe a bit too dark. So maybe I'll go more bold and add like a whole tower onto this thing. Because that way I can design more about it. Need my perspective line. Because now I can do something like design a bit of a roof. Like so. And that's kind of nice, 'cause that gives me just something to anchor this whole thing. Whoop. Right. So here we can sorta gleam and think about what does this, how does this work, how does it look like. Go into ideas of the shape. And work out the three-dimensionality of the windows a little easier. I would of course still reflect mostly this. And then we maybe surround them with bolts. It's messy, but it's something. So the tricky part here is to make the scaffolding now really part of the whole scene. I think I need to erase out a bit of the shadow beneath here. And now I might just go and add like a shadow that is falling over this part of the scene from the ship next to them. Because they would pretty much be exclusively in shadow. Just because of the ship. Like I might add this big shape falling into the scene. I think that's one of the coolest things right now, or like most fun things for me, to just add elements to a scene by adding like shadows and yeah, working with the shadows. Ba 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 bam. Thinking of working over these again. Just because I can maybe make them look a bit better. Like the design wasn't that bad, but it could have been better. Maybe more like that, yeah. Again, try to embrace the messiness a little and just paint more than I draw. That's the goal here. Because I tend to just drop it and go into drawing mode. I'll actually add a few more shapes here. Just thought about that. Just little ones to add more texture to the whole thing. And then down here I did like the U shift. I'll just try to add a bit more shape variety, maybe. See how that goes. I think I need just the other color down here. Yeah. This would be where it's coming in. And it's not necessarily it's not the rust color, but it's adjacent. I'll actually sacrifice this bit of rust. These are too small sections, so I'll expand on them. Or I'll not expand on them, I'll just erase them. Make space. And this all sort of works. Mm-hmm. So adding more three-dimensionality to these sections. Not sure. Right. Oh. So here I'm just going and add a bit more. Bit more visual interest, same old story, really. I also think I can probably keep this in this section down here. Yeah, maybe like this. And it's just deteriorating the ship. Stuff like this always feels very tricky to me up close. Because there's all this shape going on, all these shapes, and like layering. How exactly does this grip into the other material? How does it wrap around without feeling super muddy? So many questions. So little time. Might not even use these compartment things, just add a bit. Yeah, like simplify the shape. This way it can breathe a bit more on its own. And I can let it just exist there. And focus on maybe adding more shapes around it. Yeah, this is really just adding details. Coming up with details mostly. Because I don't really know. Like, I think there can be something like a grating here. Now we are adding lighting to the ship in the back. Because here too we want to Go three-dimensionality, but I will try and keep it simpler than what I just created. So with this I might do something slightly different. Mhm. All right. This looks kinda good. Yeah. But we can add some atmospheric perspective to it. And try to push it into the background that way. That's like the one trick I have. This is tricky painting. Okay. Now what can I merge? I think all these I can just merge. These as well. These as well. Like the ship, I'm kinda done. I don't have more time for it. I would love to edit it a bit more, but it's done. There. So now I just have a moment to figure out the rest. Not a lot of time. So maybe initial steps. Thinking about adding just a few boxes here and there. I was also thinking if there are maybe more people in the scene. Like, I would love to add some workers here and there. And these boxes will probably block out like the view. But yeah, maybe I'll just grab like a character really quick. Oh, like that, yeah. So this right here will be my... No, this is my atmospheric light layer. So I will use it for that. Why doesn't it work? Oh, wait, why is it darkened? I'm trying to eyeball where exactly the the line would go to. I'm always thinking like the props I draw are too simple, but then again I only have so much time. So I guess that's fine, it evens out. Still wanna try to get some detail in there, maybe. Like, yeah, maybe I can add these screws or bolts on the box, and they just give me a bit more visual interest. Other than that though, yeah, there's just not that much time. Now we sorta have to paint these because they are repeating shapes. And so they should just have a little bit more design to them. Like I won't give them a lot. A, because I have to redraw them quite a bunch. B, they're not that important. But I will try and take this first one and give it just a bit more attention. Just so that you can say, okay, I'm looking at this one and I sorta understand what's going on here. And so maybe I'll also understand what's the deal with like the other ones. Because again, they are repeating shapes, so they echo each other. So this one I will repeat certain shapes. Just a general idea. And with this one, yeah, we're starting to lose the detail. One should still have the lighting. Like everything else, probably too far in the back to really be accounted for. So we can remove this now. I'll just give myself like the dot to know where the painting is going. I might wanna look into that. Yeah, we messed up the perspective quite good. Ay. Why do we have to move this line? Oh, all the way down, huh? Yeah, let's get rid of the atmospheric lighting for a moment. And just move the pillars more correctly, more accurately. I'm fine drawing these again a bit. My elbow is getting a bit sore. Just because it's resting on the table the entire time. Not the most pleasant thing. But yeah. Just moving like scaffolding around the ship. Just to like allude to the idea that, or get the idea across that these ships are being fixed somehow or like being repaired. Yeah, I just want to add more scaffolding shapes. These don't have to be super like accurate there in the back. It's more if they are there and there are like a few of them, they sort of give the scene a bit of the vibe of like a construction site. And that's what we're aiming for here. Just the vibe. Doesn't have to be fully accurate. Like that I can't do anyway right now. Not with the time I have left. It's a bit of a shame. But yeah, again, time management is still the trickiest thing about these streams. I think we'll slowly improve on that front. So with this one, I think we'll move like so. And now it's tricky to keep it separate from like the other one. It's also sorta okay if they bleed together a bit. And let them be like one shape. Okay. Figure out like the problem of the scaffolding is really just that it's too broad. It needs to be more like this. And now I can add one around here. Sort of moves around the mech. Mac? Yeah, I'm back at Mac, my Mac game. Oh my god. Time to finish this, I think. Hmm. So this one shouldn't take me too long. Could take me a while though. That's really just about getting the shape in there and saying, look, there's like one in the air. And now we take all these, oh well, not all these shapes, I suppose, only, technically I can do it like this. No, I have to go back in again and redo the core shape. Nice. Okay, nice. Yeah, I'm just trying to add a bit more visual interest to like the ground now. Focuses on try. Succeeding, not so much. The more back we go, further back we go, the more I can just ignore this and try to merge it into like shapes. Simple shapes. Oh, that might be good. That might be good. I feel like cutting into this might be easier, but I'm just merging like styles. I'm trying to add these boxes a little late, but I want to make this place just a little bit more busy. Oh, we're just not finishing this one, are we? My hand is hurting, man. This isn't really a good effect I can apply here. I need to apply another effect, which is just cutting into it, sort of hoping that I can find decent enough effect. Yep, maybe like that. Yeah, let's just merge it. Yeah, I think if I like this to the front, we get a bit more of a varied shape. kind of saves my composition in a very lazy, skewed way. No, I added that. Now, right, like we can add this shadow. Like some large element. We don't quite see. There's no ladder on these, that's why they feel sorta fake, I think. But also because they're just very rushed. Need to take more time for my props. But I mean, well, I knew this would be rushed. Barely have time for the details, like I still haven't done the characters. Still haven't done the characters. Okay, now getting the acting. Something like that, probably. Like, look at that. Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. That's sort of the idea I'm going for. Ah, that hurt. That hurt quite a bit. mm. So the goal with this one would be that the acting is sorta implied or like readable, even though the character is super small. Like I want to check how readable I can get my character from all this distance. Because definitely is tricky, right? Like we're not working with a lot of space here. I think this is the smallest I have. I've painted her so far. That's immediately like the most difficult to get right. Give me that. So with the headband I can sort of measure out her head. But it's still so tricky. So we don't have much more, right? Just have that, and then we can add this character. So we can keep a bit more ambiguous. The arcing motion might be a bit much. Just a little bit though. I could probably adjust a little bit like so. And now I feel like it's actually quite alright. We have reached the end of one of the ambient videos during the stream, huh? Yeah, I just noticed. Time is basically up. But that's okay. Time is up for this painting as well. I will just add a little bit more scaffolding noise. Thinking of having like these two people looking into the machine right now. just need to be bigger. This arm is so weird out of proportion. Like that might be a good exercise to just try and draw people. Like just paint them with these very flat shapes. No real detail. Just get them as readable as possible. Nice. Perfect. Perfect. I just try to throw like stuff here, make the place seem more busy. And I think that's like my cue to really stop. Because at this point I'm working on, like, I mean, it is an illustration. I should have detail in there, of course. But like this is a fairly short piece, or like a 3-hour piece or something. That's fine if it's not perfect. And I shouldn't push it to yeah, do everything at once. So I get this idea across that there is some lighting shenanigans going on there. And that these people are all very much in the dark. I wonder if I can get away with putting Kikira more in the dark. Yeah, it seems like it. Now, as my final party trick, I will just add more darkness around and down here, so as to really sell the idea that this is all more or less in the shade. Nice. Good enough. Works for me, I think. Yeah, like now I would probably just go in here and like add reflections or something. Like I've already done here. Might add a bit of a reflection of her. Bit of a reflection of him. That sort of stuff. But the piece overall is sort of done at this point. Piece is pretty much done at this point, so let's add like a final light here and here. And call it a day, I think. Well, you know me, finding another shape and another shape and another shape. But I think I won't do more. I'll drop my pen and look at what I've created for a moment. I think overall this is interesting. More messy than what I was going for. I think like I'm just trying to maybe push these characters a little more in front. Because like they are exactly where the focal point would be, but right now they are just too dark to really be focal, sorta. So I'm thinking, okay, how do I get them? I might have to use some layer tricks here for once. Like really my only idea is to take the area around them and make that less, or darken that a bit more. Not a huge fan of this approach. Not a huge fan. Yeah, that seems about right. Hmm. Nope. Nope, nope. Then maybe... Use names the same. I'm just looking for... a bit more color in there. Here I am trying to end the stream, but this piece doesn't quite let me go. So maybe that's already enough. Just some subtle work. Or did this thing actually ruin it? Can't really do an element there. It's fine. Fine. I think. Last thing. I swear. Because I forgot them before. I actually wanted to include just a few specks of color in here. So now it has these orange lines in there as well. And I think now it feels very technical. And it is definitely kind of the highlight of the whole image. Perfect. Drop the pen, drop the piece.